We're going to start this module in Google Classroom to verify that your students are in your Google Classroom using the correct account. This is absolutely imperative for the sync to work. So here we see a student, and in the email all guardians column, we see an email there. That means an email has been added as a guardian for this student. That's a good sign. We either need to see an email here or something that says invite guardians. If that column is blank, that means your student is in your Google Classroom with the wrong account. The email we see there is a guardian email. So the way we verify the email of the student, at least one way, is to go ahead and select the student using the select box, and then click the drop down in the actions button. And you can either choose to remove the student, which will show you their email, or you can choose to email them. It will open up the email program and show you their email address. But when we click remove, we're going to be looking for the student's ID number at aps.edu. If you see that for the student, then you're in great shape. If you see a Gmail account, you need to remove that student and invite them via their APS account. Now we'll move over to Synergy. Here we're going to take a look at the class that is syncing. We see a nice colorful G next to the course name and section ID, 7213. We can see 7213 in the upper left hand corner as well. That colorful G means that the class is syncing. So here we are in the correct Google Classroom. I'm going to go ahead and create an assignment. I'm going to click create and then assignment. The title of the assignment will populate the title of the assignment when we sync it over to Synergy. So just be mindful that what you type here will be seen by students and parents in Synergy. Go ahead and select the number of points. This will populate the max points in Synergy. Not the points value, but just the max points. Go ahead and select a due date. I'm going to go into the instructions here. Be mindful that what you type in here, the sync is going to search for any kind of keywords that will tell it what assignment type to associate your assignment with. If you have chosen a default, which I hope you have, and it doesn't recognize anything in your instructions, it will choose the default. But if you use the word test, like this assignment is to test your knowledge on turtles, that word test will cause the sync to go ahead and put your assignment in the test assignment type. So there's our assignment in Google Classroom. Here we're going to sync to our Synergy Gradebook, and you will notice in yellow the assignment will appear. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in a little bit more. You see the colorful G there telling us that this assignment is syncing to Google Classroom. We've got the assignment title here. We've got the max points showing here. You can see that the points value is different. We're going to have to edit this assignment in Synergy to select the correct number of points. Don't forget, in global settings, you can set that point value to match the max points of the assignment when it syncs. Or you can select a separate default value for those points, but that is done in global settings. I'm going to go ahead and click the assignment now, choose Edit the Assignment, and let's take a look at some of the fields that are available for editing in Synergy when we are syncing from Google Classroom. Right here we see max score is locked. That's a value that's brought in from Google. Here we can change the points value. It's max score. I think I've been saying max points. Sorry about that. Max score, so we could change our points there. We could also change assignment type at any time. The assignment name and description is controlled by Google, so those are locked. You are not able to change those at all. You can change the raw score if you the score type from raw score if you needed to. I don't recommend it. You can also edit sections and grading periods, of course, like you would for any other assignment in Synergy. You can do that for a syncing assignment as well. Up there is where you can turn off the syncing by unlocking this assignment from Google. You do that by clicking that drop down there. So now we're going to go ahead and save the assignment. We'll notice that the points adjusted in our gradebook. And if I come in here to try to add a grade for this student, I get an error message that we are not allowed to edit that field for an assignment that is syncing from Google. We need to go into our Google Classroom here, open up the assignment, and grade it here instead. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and enter a score here. I do not have to return the assignment to the student. I can simply enter a score and hit enter. So we've got 30 points. Go back to Synergy. I'm going to click the sync from Google. It's going to do its thing. And we are going to see that 30 points is now the new score for the student in Synergy. If I wanted to change that again, I would have to go back to Google Classroom, edit the score, hit enter, do not have to return it to the student, go back to Synergy, sync from Google, and here we are. We've got the brand new updated score of 35 for the student. Now, if I go and edit the score in Google Classroom, but I forget to hit enter, I'm not actually saving the score in Google Classroom, I will be sadly disappointed when I come to Synergy and click the sync button, because it will still show the old score that was there. I need to, in Google Classroom, hit enter after I have entered a score so that it does save it. When I do that and sync from Google, there are no problems with bringing that score over from Google Classroom. Now we're going to see what it looks like when we add a new assignment from Synergy. In Synergy, you'll notice none of the fields are grayed out because this assignment does not yet exist in Google Classroom. I can add an assignment name. I can choose an assignment type. I don't know why that screen came up. I can add a description for my assignment. We're calling this assignment 3. I can add a max score. Again, I could change the score type if I wanted to. I'm not going to. I'm going to go ahead and change max score and points here. In the upper right, I'm going to change the due date of the assignment. And you'll notice the Google Sync toggle up there is still there. I could turn off the sync, disable it if I needed to, but I'm going to go ahead and click Save Assignment. Now you will notice in the upper right that a message appeared. This assignment saved successfully, however Google Classroom did not sync because the due date is in the past. When you create an assignment in Synergy, if you want it to sync to Google Classroom, it needs to have a due date in the future. So that is something to keep in mind. If you create an assignment in Synergy and you want it to sync to Google Classroom, the due date absolutely has to be in the future. So we'll look forward to the last module where we connect everything up.